Oh, hi there. So, bit of a different angle on my camera. I got a cat on my lap, and I don't really want to have to wake him up to put things where they're supposed to be. So here we are. Anyway, so the point of today's video, I want to talk about, with the TimeGate coming up right away, we got 22 hours left on that one. I just want to go over what I think is a good way to decide which champion you want to pick. Because you do get 3 randomized options. If I was going to say, let's example who's on the field here, let's say Black Viper. She's the best one to get. Pick her first. Well, what happens if you don't get her? Then who you pick? So, I've come up with what I think are some basic criteria to help kind of whittle it down based on my preferred play style and what I think is my preferred play style. I don't know how I'm trying to word that. So on the field here I've got, actually let's get rid of Hitch. So there's just time-gateable champions. Whatever. Get into that after. My priority on time gates, I feel like if you don't have everyone unlocked, it doesn't matter who's there, you want to unlock everybody. So it's a little bit less important, I think, who is in the gate. Just get everybody. And when you have everybody, you can play around and you can figure stuff out. But whatever, let's help steer a decision in a direction, right? Make things a little bit easier. There's like 40 champions. Where do you start? Well, I think the most beneficial thing to do with the champions that are around, because oftentimes, especially going through time gates, you're not going to get necessarily a level of equipment that's really going to do much to improve them for you. You're not necessarily going to have a ton of time to earn all sorts of favor and gold to find to really play around with them, maybe. So I think the best thing to do early on is to go for champions that will help improve your gold find abilities. And there are, I would say, 2 tiers of gold find champions. The first tier is champions that are going to trigger Jarlaxle's Master of Piracy ability. And then your second tier is going to be basically anybody else. So in our first tier, we have in slot 1, you've got Kthris. I just call him Chris, it's easier. In slot 2, you've got Regis. Slot number 3, you've got Spurt. Slot number 5, you've got Xander. In 6, you've got Shandy. And in 7, you've got Black Viper. So once you've got, I would say, all of them out of the way, then your second priority is going to be okay. And then I'll talk about our priority 2 champions while Jarlaxle gets murdered. So at the top here, you've got Krull and Donar in our 6th and 2nd slots, respectively. Both of them have a primary attack / ability that can add to the gold find dropped by marked enemies. Curl has a stacking plague that'll add X percentage per stack, and Dunnar just has a random ability, slow, stun, pushback, or extra gold. And then for our bottom 3, you've got Caddybury, Wolfgar, and Pwent. And all 3 of them have a gold find ability that works with the Companions of the Hall, that provides a bonus based on the number of Companions of the Hall in your party. No. Each one has an individual gold find bonus, but then they multiply if you have multiple companions leveled high enough to activate said gold find ability. So that's going to be it for your gold finders. So I like them. They can help you improve your favor gain faster, so you can get more blessings. You can get a couple extra areas out of the quests you do. They can also potentially help a little bit, of course, with flexibility and doing some variants early on. So I'm a really big fan of those. I mean, outside of course, equipment, gold find is the next best thing for leveling up your party, pushing past your wall. So I think that's why I put gold find champions in your first priority. And then, of course, broken into 2 tiers. One, because it's just a very static effect, and then the others because it's either it adds less than the others, or takes a reasonable amount of gold find to actually be able to afford that level. And then after that, I'm going to say, just in terms of practicality, this is where it starts to get a bit vague. In terms of practicality, I think I would suggest champions in the first 6 slots or so, just so that, assuming you're at the very beginning of the game, you've got minimal to no gold find. If you're going to pick someone who doesn't offer you gold find, I think picking a champion in the first few slots is good, because then you can actually use them. I mean, Archon, granted, when I started playing this game, there were different gold find abilities that were far inferior than they are now. So, I mean, it took me a good 20-odd runs to be even able to use Archon. Never mind even get him up to his specialization, so to be able to actually use him. It's one thing to have him in a formation, but to be able to level up, use his abilities, and build something around him is totally different. So I think the next priority after gold find is low champion slot characters, so you can use them. And then my next deciding factor is going to be based on how long it will take to actually get them through waiting for events. And in order to check that, you're just going to open up your achievements page, go to your events tab, and then you just pick the champion at the top of the list. Because the top event is the most recent one completed, which means it will take the longest to come back around and get these champions again. So if you've got one for Cimmeral, or one for, say, Winter Shield, which I think is the next one, of course you're going to go with Cimmeral, because Cimmeral's going to take you 11 months to get to. Winter Shield's going to take you, I think, a week or 2? Maybe? So obviously, the week or 2 wait is easier to stomach than a whole 11 months. Yeah, so that's what I think is kind of a vague way to be able to kind of whittle down the choices. You know, you got your gold finders first. There are 2 tiers of gold finders that will help make that decision for you. And then you've got actual playable champions. You know, your first, like I said, first 6 slots are much more affordable and usable than the last handful. And then just based on time, you don't want to have to wait a full year to unlock this champion again if you can get him today. And the other ones will take you only 2 months to get. Just helps to shorten it, because again, I think the most important thing when looking at unlocking champions is mostly just to have them, and then you can play with the formations, because different levels have different mapped formations that you have to stay structured within. Different champions with different abilities, of course, will work better or worse depending on the formation, and you won't be able to actually play with that and figure it out without having those champions. So I think the having of everybody is more important than who you get and the order in which you get them. But if I was going to have to say, gold find first, it'll get you more areas. More areas can get you more chests and TimeGate pieces, which can help you to level up your champions and unlock new ones. It all just helps shorten the process a little bit. This game is very grindy, and anything you can do to shorten that grinding and maximize gains, 100% is the way to go. Yeah, so I think that pretty much covers it. Very, very limited criteria, because again, I think just having everybody is the most important way to go. At this point, I'm just going to start rambling and repeating myself, expecting some kind of response that I, of course, will not get, because you won't see this until I'm done recording and editing. So, yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Next time we start an event, I'm going to go over my general event routine. It's kind of the same. I mean, TimeGates, there's not much to go over with routine. There's 2 levels that gets you chests and 1 that's just a repetitive free play. You know, based on the shortened time frame, I wouldn't spend a ton of time doing it. Maybe only 2 or 3 free play runs, and then move on and work on ramping up your favor for the core campaigns to increase that multiplier, or the amount being multiplied, because that can oftentimes get you a higher gain than increasing the multiplier value itself. Anyways, like I said, rambling. Hope it helped. See you next time. Sorry for the wait. I'll try to do more often. Bye.